I'm super tired today. If you follow me on Instagram at all, you know that my husband doesn't sleep. He's some kind of weird alien. I'm tired. Don't worry, this is still decaf. I really just drink it to pretend like I'm drinking coffee. Hello everyone and welcome to another card video. Today I have some really cool stuff from Spellbinders and my friend Bibi. If you like butterflies, you are going to love this set or this collection. It's like the basic butterfly collection that you need to have. This set here is called Butterfly Card Creator, and it's ginormous. It makes a huge butterfly. It will not fit in an A2 envelope. It is slightly larger than an A2 card front, so just to be warned. But it is so cool. You can make your own butterfly card. You don't really need to fit in the A2 box. Look, I made this! I used the largest die in that set to make my card. I cut it from some pattern paper that I had. And then I used one of the other sets to make all of the smaller butterflies. But this card is so great. And you can just write on the back and your card is done. Or you could make a butterfly shaped card that opens. This is Pop-Up Butterfly. And it's exactly how it sounds. It's everything you need to make a pop-up butterfly on the inside or on the outside of your card. It comes with this handy little contraption here that really, quite frankly, could make a lot of different things that you own already a pop-up. And then this is my favorite of the sets that I have. It is called So Many Butterflies. And it is so many butterflies and so many butterfly bodies. It is awesome. Let me show you what I made. I have this, which is, you know, the typical, a lot of butterflies make up one big butterfly. And then I did the little sentiment with some like sticky alphabet letters that I have and just a piece of clear adhesive and acetate that I cut into a circle. So I thought it turned out really pretty. And I ink blended a few backgrounds to get all of those butterflies. This one, I cut out the butterfly from the front and then I used pattern paper behind it. And then I hot foiled the happy birthday on the butterfly that is offset. I like things like that. Sometimes it makes people really anxious. I also made this one. It's yay for whatever. I cut it from a 3x4 pocket card and I thought it was really cute. It's simple, but useful. Oh, and let me show you the piece de resistance. The card that we are going to make today, my favorite of the group. It's also hot foiled. Love always. It's a trifold card, but with butterfly wings. I thought it was really cool and creative. Okay, I love this card. And I don't want to make too many changes when we remake it today. But I do think that I want to replace these gold sequins with maybe like changing out some of these leaves with gold. I don't know. We'll see. We'll cut it out. We'll fiddle fart around and we'll see what looks good. Maybe we'll stick with the splatters. Splatters in the background. I'm not sick of splatters. Are you sick of splatters? Because I am not sick of splatters. We are also going to attempt to hot foil. We all know how that turned out the last time. So let's pray for me. So to create this, you basically need to take a card base. This is what I have, Neenah 110, 8.5 by 11, and I cut it wrong. Okay, you cut it lengthwise where you would normally cut your card base at 4 1/4, but cut it at 5 1/2. I lined up the largest die from the So Many Butterflies set, the largest one, and then I lined it up to the edge, the far right edge, just to make that one wing. Then we're going to do some partial die cutting. Okay, so I need my die cutting machine. I'm using the Platinum 6 for all of the die cutting and hot foiling today. I've lined up my dies, I've stuck it down with tape, and now I'm going to arrange the cutting plates so that it only cuts where I want it to cut, that outer edge of the butterfly. Basically everything from that green tape to the right. I stacked my sandwich so that the top cutting plate stopped basically at the middle of the butterfly and only cut that right wing. Now I still want to finish the cut, so I'm taking a T-ruler and kind of marking where I need it to line up so that I get kind of straight, okay? I'm also making some marks on this Fiskars wire guide paper trimmer just so I know where to stop, where I want to stop the blade. It's easier for me to see these markings than the paper underneath, so I make the markings so I know exactly where to stop the blade so that it just pops right off. Look at that. It's like magic. To align the left side, I basically took an A2 card panel to find the other end of my card and arranged the center of the largest die from the Butterfly Card Creator on that edge. Then I'm using the same technique, the partial die cutting, to align my plate exactly in the center of that butterfly so I know where my score line's going to be. This way I have an A2 size card that's going to fit perfectly in an A2 size envelope. Spend a little time making sure that your plates are aligned exactly where you want them to cut, because if not, it could cut, somewhere that you don't want it to, or it may not cut enough. So spend some time making sure that your plates are arranged. I lost it a little bit. It kind of shifted there on me, but it's okay. It's still cut. So now we have the left side of our trifold cut. We need to do the exact same thing. T-ruler, making the lines. These lines aren't even straight, you guys. Don't look too hard at the lines, okay? Just the technique. Again, I'm making the marking so I know where I want my blade, which is actually in the center of that little orange square thingy. So it's easier for me to make the marks on the left-hand side. I'm sorry that it's not exactly in center, but that's what I'm doing. If you still miss your mark, like I just did, just use some scissors to cut it the rest of the way, and it's done. Now you could use that same Fiskars wire guide paper trimmer to score these wings, but I pulled out my paper scoreboard and I just found where I needed to score and found a channel in which to score where I wanted it to. It's really not hard to keep your paper straight and hold it down in order to get a score line where you want it to, even if it doesn't line up with the exact measurements. I'm using Neenah 110-pound cardstock, which is super thick cardstock. So I'm scoring and burnishing, I guess, my score lines with my bone folder, and my cardstock has no problem holding up to that. So that was a little bit time consuming, but I think it was well worth it. Now we're going to hot foil it. Can easily make that again. No problem. I'm not sure where this pencil came from, but I like it. I recently used this ceramic blade on my glass mat and I damaged it. So I wanted to say something in this video. Be careful about cutting on your glass mats because they can scratch, and I did that. But luckily I have 9,000 cutting mats, so I just dug this one out and we're good to go. Let's hot foil. Spoiler alert, I did not hot foil the plate again. I actually kind of figured it out, and it's so pretty. When you finally figure it out, it's so pretty. So take the time to hot foil, you guys. It's really cool. So I'm cutting my foil with my ceramic blade on the cutting mat, and then just cutting it down so that there's less chance for overfoiling. cut the foil. I've learned, cut the foil as close to the shape that you're foiling as possible. I've also learned to tape it down. And this is highlighter tape. It's like a plasticky tape. And it goes great with my Glimmer hot foil machine. I don't like waiting for it to heat up. This thing's pretty cool. That did not go as planned. It's ready to go. Once the platform is heated, then you can heat the die, and there's a timer for that. And once the timer goes off, then you run it through your die cutting machine to actually hot foil the cardstock that you're using. Well, it's perfect! Hot damn. I think we should splatter. What do you think? I agree. We should splatter. I did spend a little bit of time trying to choose which gold watercolor paint I wanted to use for my splatter, but I really think this was pointless. So I want to splatter this, but I don't want to get it on the back of the card, right? So I'm going to cover that part so that we can splatter the wings. This is a piece of Avery repositionable label material cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's the size of my card base. Here we go, walking down the street. I forget the words, but I know it's the monkeys. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. I'm using the Ranger Splatter Brush and Gansai Tambi Starry Nights watercolors. I'm going to use a lot of cardstock. Not really a lot as in quantity, but like a lot of different colors. I might be able to link them all below. I'm sorry that I'm terrible at that. Just, if I ever forget something, just leave me a comment. I'm happy to correct my mistake. We're gonna use these wonderful dies and this beautiful color palette. I'm using the Butterfly Card Creator, and this is Gina K Designs Barely There cardstock, and I'm going to use that to cut some of the flowers. This is Paper Tray Ink Dark Indigo. This is Fun Stamper's Journey Rustic Rose, Gina K Honey Mustard, MFT Chantilly Cream, Paper Tray Ink Heavyweight Vellum, Tonic Studios Polished Gold Foil. So a while back I received some little vellum elements in one of my scrapbook kits. I think it was Felicity Jane. And I loved them. And I've been wanting to recreate them because I want to make them out of my own colors. So this is kind of where that came from. And that's why I'm basically sewing these 2 layers of cardstock together. So for these butterflies, I cut a layer of cardstock and a layer of the heavyweight vellum. Now I'm using the piercing tool. This large butterfly, I'm actually piercing 3 holes, so there will be 2 stitches in this larger butterfly. I'm using white DMC embroidery floss, all 6 layers, all 6 threads, and I'm just doing a straight stitch in the pierced holes. That's it. I've tied a small knot at the end of my strands of embroidery floss, and when I'm done, I'm just going to tie a knot in the back by kind of looping it through the one stitch and then going through twice again and then tying the knot. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I'm not a good explainer of the things. But you just chop it at this point, cut it off, and there you go. Your butterfly has layers, like an ogre has layers. I wouldn't pull too hard, but I would give them a little fluffing of the wings before you put them onto your card panel. But that's it. It's that easy. I'm going to do the same thing with the smaller butterflies, only these will have just one stitch because I only put 2 holes. They are too small. If you try to put too many holes, you're going to cut your butterfly in half and it's just going to be bad. So because this one won't have that stitch in the back to secure the knot, I secured it with a glue dot. I love me some glue dots. They are super sticky and they really just do the trick for this. Cut the excess off. And now you have a small butterfly with layers that you can also do a little fluffing and frou-frouing. So I'm going to use some liquid adhesive to glue some things together before we put it on the card itself. Plus we need a few minutes to make sure that's good and dry. 2 of the flowers that are in the Butterfly Card Creator set have layers, oh my goodness, meaning the die set comes with a layer that you cut out for that flower. The more of the chrysanthemum, that is not correct. The one that looks like a mum, more like that one, you can make its own layers, but the other ones have like another layer that I cut out of vellum. I also cut these long greenery pieces with vellum as well and layered them with some liquid adhesive just to give them a little bit more interest as well. I really only used the adhesive towards the bottom of it so that it allowed the top part of that greenery to be freer. Here is how our card base is looking before the big reveal, which I kind of like it with the splatters on the back. You know, like maybe we didn't have to shield it at all. It would be kind of cool with splatters on the back. But here we go. I think it's a great addition. Here I go with the glue dots again. Lots and lots of glue dots. That's what I'm using to adhere a lot of these butterflies, a lot of the floral things. I'm just arranging them, you know, liquid adhesive flat to the card base. Then I pop it up with some foam squares if I want to. I have multiple layers of foam adhesive, and then I chop it all up and try to hide it to the best of my abilities. Now, I do not care that this card doesn't stay shut, but if you do, you could easily arrange this foliage to help you keep the card shut until the opener opens it. For this version of the card, I am adding some gold leaves instead of the Chantilly lace leaves that were on the original card. I think that's a bonus too. The heavyweight vellum does stay up. If you put it up, you don't need to worry about that. And I freaking love the splatters. You guys, this is so pretty. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. So the lesson to be learned today is 1, Bibi's butterflies are awesome. 2, splatter usually makes things better. And also, we learned that we want to make sure the splat box is clean from the previous usage before we put our brand new white card in the box. Thank you for joining me for another card video. Find me on social media, find Spellbinders, find Bibi Cameron. I love her. She had me at Chimmer. We both love the Chimmer. Here is the original card and the new card next to each other. And until next time.